I'm gonna do a quick breakdown of the absolute Mad Max feed zombie apocalypse situation that is currently happening in Shanghai, China currently. So, if you are not aware, China has an absolute zero advanced cult policy. If any place is at risk of starting a spreader event, then it gets put on lockdown. And this is not your casual lockdown. No, China's lockdowns are pretty tyrannical to say the least. If the lockdown gets announced, and it's gonna get suddenly announced, you can't leave wherever you are. If you are stuck on the bus, you are stuck on the bus, and you can't go to your house. If you leave your current location to go to your house, well, most likely you're gonna be beaten up and taken in by the authorities. It is an absolute nightmare, a dystopian scenario unfolding right in front of our eyes. This is one of the better tweets that puts it all into perspective. Barely controlled chaos, as everyone locked into apartment blocks and looking for food via chat groups for government to deliver. There are chat groups, and the government is delivering food, air quotes. We're gonna see how that food looks later, and then you can choose, do you want to starve or risk eating what they are actually giving to you? Sometimes you get it, usually you don't. Obviously, you can't feed the whole city like Shanghai with just the government's resources alone. That is madness. Plain watermelons go for 100 each. That is not a normal price in China, by the way. The normal price in China for that item is around, well, 50 times lower or something like that. The situation is absolutely insane. And so situations like this are happening. What's currently happening to all the animals in Shanghai? Look at this. Those are cats in bags. Every dog, every cat, any animal found in Shanghai is gonna get put down. And not in a humanitarian way, trust me. I'm not gonna show you this video, but you can probably understand that that little guy is not making it. And this is happening all over Shanghai, and this has happened all over any place that China has deemed to be at risk of starting a spreader event or anything like that. Absolute inhumane barbarism. And this is a little bit of the dystopian future, well, the dystopian reality that they are living in China. Watch this video. If you don't understand what exactly is happening here, the government is giving issues through drones flying through the city. And there's multiple of them. This is a little bit more funny. This is a dog drone with the thing taped to it, it looks like. But anyway, you get the point. This is not parody. This is 100% real and happening currently in Shanghai. And it only gets better. Someone's saying that this is like from an episode of Black Mirror. Haven't seen that show, but I have heard it does a lot of dystopian stuff like this. And we are currently living very much in a dystopian reality, so I guess this show is gonna prove a lot of things correct. This is what happens when you leave to go outside. That is a man. Everyone around him are authority. Pretty good. What was his grave mistake? Nothing. He did nothing wrong except decided to go outside. Well, also he was born Chinese, so that in itself is a grave sin. Now I know this does look sad, but honestly, the only part you should be sad about is the animals. Not a single Chinese person deserves a single shred of remorse. They literally have chosen this. 99.999% of people living in China are happy with the situation. As long as it doesn't get this bad, they are pretty happy with it. In China, corruption is so enrooted, you have absolutely no way out. These people are not anything special. Anyone who gets to the position of any authority, aka working for the government in China, instantaneously becomes a power abusing monster. In China, you can do pretty much almost anything illegal, bordering a straight up murder of people who are wanted. And I'm saying who are wanted because if you kill someone who is not wanted, well, that's not exactly an actual problem in China. Frankly, as much as the government is concerned, most of the time, if no one's searching for that person afterwards, you have done a grave service to your country. This is completely normal in China. Do not be sad for these people. They wanted this situation. They love this situation. If you get caught doing something bad, chances are 999 times out of 1,000, you can buy yourself out of any bad criminal situation just by giving a simple bribe of a block of cigarettes. It will work because every single authority in China is corrupt to the bone without any exception. This is completely normal. This is what's currently happening in the supermarkets. Looting. People know they're gonna starve to death possibly. It's gonna be pretty insane. It is already pretty insane. This is completely normal sight to be seen. People with guns, aka, the authorities, now are armed with guns because they are not obviously gonna risk that a city like China has the chance to rebel. Even though people are slowly starting to rebel, everyone in a place of authority in China is corrupt. But that does not mean that all of the people are corrupt. Most of them are. Most of them are okay with the system. Most of them love the communist Chinese regime, so they do not deserve any pity. But some of them potentially could start riots and whatnot. And these people, those people in the white clothes, they're not gonna hesitate, even for a single bit, to open fire. Like in these videos, they won't hesitate to open fire. Your life, well, their life does not matter. In China, everyone's equal in debt, except the people at the most higher echelons of power. But as you can see, as the food shortages increase, as people are literally starving to death, what are you gonna pick? Being in your apartment and starving to death, being in your house and starving to death, or you're gonna try and survive. Worst case scenario, you get deleted. But if you do nothing, you're still getting deleted on your own merits. Look at this. This is a person stuck on the bus for around 2 weeks or something like that. You do not get to leave the bus. Suddenly, a siren rings and it says lockdown. Congratulations, that's your new home. People are screaming from the high rises, and this was after a week reportedly. After a week of the lockdown starting, people are losing their minds from boredom, starvation, and hunger because the bills don't go away. You see, while the lockdown's happening, you're not getting paid. But your bills obviously also don't go away. So a lot of these people, if they are not, they don't have a reserve amount of cash, their lives are potentially ruined for ever. China has a credit score, and not paying your rent is an easy way to ruin your credit score. And if you don't have a good credit score in China, well, then congratulations, you're not gonna have a good life in China. You most likely, you may end up as an organ donor. Not willing, keep in mind, but that hasn't stopped China. Pretty insane. If you can hear the audio, which you probably should, you would think that this is some kind of carnival or something like that. But no one's in the streets. Everyone's simply yelling from the high rises, which may collapse any time because Chinese cut corners on absolutely every expense that they can make. And this is a Shanghai quarantine facility. Tell me this does not look like something you would see in a zombie survival game. Tell me this does not look like that. The living conditions of absolute animals. This is a pretty impactful video. This guy decided to go outside. The authorities have not yet arrived, so you know what will be his fate. No one knows. But since he is publicly denouncing the Communist Party, chances are, well, no one's gonna ever see him again. That's how things happen in China. And that's how things happen in communism default, by the way. So, you know, think about that a little bit. There are so many people in the West advocating for communism and how glorious life under it is going to be. It's going to be glorious for people like me. Because people like me are capable to seize the opportunities. If a communism system comes to your neighborhood, you're going to be in the mines. You're going to be in the fabric. Creating things that no one wants or no one cares about. I'm, in the meantime, gonna be probably beating you with a stick and proclaiming a good, decent life position. I should be advocating for communism because I would thrive in a situation where pure force is gonna get me results. You, on the other hand, why are you doing that? Do you want to end like this guy who's yelling on the streets about the fact that his mortgage is due the next day, but he can't go to work, he can't get any money, and his life is literally over? Do you want a life like that? Probably you do. Anyway, that's it. Subscribe!